sulfide from the cold seeps in the trench.
I have Ocean's nighttime
The deep trench,
praying.
once thought to be barren, had become a sanctuary for life forms that had adapted in extraordinary ways to survive. These creatures held secrets to how life might evolve in the most extreme conditions. As the mystery deepened, biologists speculated that these organisms could hold the key to understanding the origins of life itself. However, the experts failed to link these deep-sea creatures to the strange anomalies their instruments had picked up during the exploration. None of them was responsible for those odd pulses or unknown sounds. Despite being extraordinary in their own rights, these creatures were still perfectly normal, and the likelihood that something anormal was hiding in the depths of the Puerto Rico Trench was becoming increasingly higher. This peculiar finding in the Puerto Rico Trench, a place where the boundaries of life, physics, and technology all seemed to blur, set the stage for more discoveries, but it also raised more questions. What were the true implications of the rhythmic sonar pulses? What other secrets were lurking in the depths, waiting to be revealed? The answers, it seemed, would only come with time, and only if the research teams could overcome the very real limitations of exploring the abyss. The data blackout. As interest in the Puerto Rico Trench reached a fever pitch, a peculiar and unnerving pattern began to surface among the various teams working with long-range autonomous sensors and deep-sea mapping equipment. Between 2021 and 2023, no fewer than 6 independent research initiatives, spanning universities in Europe, Japan, and the United States, reported a series of inexplicable data gaps within their recordings from the trench's deepest, most remote zones. What was initially considered a mere glitch soon spiraled into something far more troubling. It wasn't just a few missing logs or brief lapses in communication. In several instances, entire data sets disappeared without a trace. Instruments that had been designed to operate autonomously in the most hostile of environments, deep beneath the ocean's surface, had failed in ways that couldn't be easily explained. The data from these missions should have been among the most stable, collected in the calm, relatively uniform environment of the trench floor. Instead, the researchers found themselves grappling with an unsettling void. In some cases, the devices were recovered with hard drives that showed signs of complete magnetic erasure. Entire files, crucial information about the trench's composition and seismic activity, were simply gone. Backup transponders, designed to store redundant data and serve as a failsafe in case of malfunction, either failed to activate or returned nothing but garbled, nonsensical strings of characters. One technician from a Belgian research team, who was working on the installation of a new sensor network, described the experience as if something pulsed right through the electronics, not damage, but cancellation. A complete erasure, as though someone or something had deliberately wiped their work. But what, or who? Clearly no fish or cephalopod or any other marine creature had the power to tamper such high-tech equipment. Initially, the phenomenon was dismissed as a combination of hardware failure.
I just wanted to say that a lot of divers that get close to blue whales, when the blue whales start to I forget what they do. They click or they do something, but the pulse that they give off from their click, their sonar, can literally stop a diver's heart from beating. So just imagine if a blue whale, which is a huge, huge whale, can do something like that. What exactly do you think that they're talking about? So I want to read this. Where's my glasses? Hold on. Oh, hold on. I got lotion all coconut oil all over my glasses. But let me read this, okay? So this is Job chapter 41. And so that you know that I'm reading from this, I want to make sure that it's, people know that I'm not bullshitting when I say this from the scriptures. It says, can you pull in Leviathan with a fish hook? These are all questions that God is asking mankind. Or tie down its tongue with a rope? Can you put a cord through its nose or pierce its jaw with a hook? Will it keep begging you for mercy? Will it speak to you with gentle words? Will it make an agreement with you? for you to take it as your slave for life? Can you make a pet of it like a bird, or put it on a leash for the young women in your house? Will traders barter for it? Will they divide it up among the merchants? Can you fill its hide with harpoons, or its head with fishing spears? If you lay a hand on it, you will remember the struggle and never do it again. Any hope of subduing it is false. The mere sight of it is overpowering. No one is fierce enough to rouse it. Who then is able to stand against me? Who has a claim against me that I must pay? Talking about Leviathan. Everything under the heavens belonged to me. I will not fail to speak of Leviathan's limbs, its strength and its graceful form. Who can strip off its outer coat? Who can penetrate its double coat of armor? Who dares to open the doors of its mouth, ringed about with fearsome teeth? Its back has rows of shields, tightly sealed together. Each is so close that the next, with no air can pass between. They are joined fast with one another. They cling together and cannot be parted. Its snorting throws out flashes of light. Its eyes are like the rays of dawn. Flames stream from its mouth. Sparks of fire shoot out. Smoke pours from its nostrils, as from a boiling pot over burning reeds. Its breast sets coals ablaze, and flames dart from its mouth. Strength resides in its neck. Dismay goes before it. The folds of its flesh are tightly joined. They are firm and immovable. Its chest is hard as a rock, hard as a lower millstone. When it rises up, the mighty are terrified. They retreat before its thrashing. The sword that reaches it has no effect, nor does a spear or a dart or a javelin. Iron it treats like straw, and bronze like rotten wood. Arrows do not make it flee. Sling stones are like chaff to it. A club seems to it but a piece of straw. It laughs at the rattling of the lance. Its undersides are jagged potsherds, leaving a trail in the mud like a threshing sledge. It makes the depths churn like a boiling cauldron, and stirs up the sea like a pot of ointment. It leaves a glistening wake behind it. One would think the deep had white hair. Nothing on earth is its equal, a creature without fear. It looks down on all that are haughty. It is king over all that are proud. Sounds like this Leviathan and God are one or in sync. But anyways, let's play this.
Go reward yourself. Go play.
No offense, but if you're paying more than $30 a month on car insurance, you're getting ripped off. Everybody knows you can buy car insurance.
Initially, the phenomenon was dismissed as a combination of hardware failure and the extreme conditions at such depths. Massive pressures, cold temperatures, and the corrosive nature of salt water could wreak havoc on even the most sophisticated technology. But as technicians dug deeper into the anomalies, they found that the devices had never even come close to their critical failure thresholds. Temperature, pressure, and salinity remained within the expected ranges. The conditions, while certainly challenging, did not justify the total disappearance of data. The assumption that these were random, localized failures began to crumble under the weight of evidence. Researchers began to ask themselves, was this a natural phenomenon, or was there something actively interfering with the exploration of this region? The thought of something external influencing the trench's ability to be mapped seemed absurd, yet it was difficult to ignore the mounting.
I just want to say this. I keep interrupting, sorry. So I had a satellite on my house, and the satellite was interfering with an ant hill, like a major ant hill in the backyard. And these ants crawled up the wall, killing themselves, and I mean by thousands upon thousands upon thousands of ants, into the siding up to the satellite to try to knock the satellite signal out. So just imagine, those are little itty bitty creatures trying to knock the satellite signal out. Just imagine if there was a actual beast, being, or entity that is named Leviathan in the Bible, that is as powerful as the scriptures say it is, that is knocking out all of their sonar and all of their has a electromagnetic field that can interrupt what their technology is.
Evidence. The idea that the trench was hiding its secrets behind a veil of interference was both compelling and terrifying. Was it the trench itself, a part of the planet, so ancient and isolated that it had developed an almost sentient resistance to exploration? Or was there something more sinister at play, an unknown force, perhaps even alien, preventing humanity from fully understanding the depths of the Puerto Rico Trench? Whatever the cause, the implications were profound. A place that had been considered one of the most studied and mapped regions in the ocean was suddenly becoming one of the most mysterious. Into the blue unknown. In 2024, an unprecedented deep-sea mission was launched that promised to reveal the unknown depths of one of the Earth's most mysterious and extreme environments, the Puerto Rico Trench. This international expedition, a collaboration between NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the Schmidt Ocean Institute, and a private biotech firm, would push the boundaries of human exploration. At the heart of the mission was the Pelagia X-7, a cutting-edge autonomous underwater drone designed for the kind of silent, deep-sea navigation required to investigate the trench beyond 8,000 meters, the abyss where few have ventured, and fewer still have returned with conclusive data. Pelagia X-7 was no ordinary drone. Engineered for silent operation to avoid disturbing the fragile ecosystems it was designed to observe, the drone also featured advanced sensors for extreme depth navigation and the capability to transmit live feed video footage back to the surface in real time. Its mission was singular but ambitious: to map the seafloor of the Puerto Rico Trench at a depth that had previously been deemed unreachable by human technology. As the drone descended, it traversed the murky depths with ease, its cameras capturing the eerily silent ocean floor. The footage revealed vast silt plains, stretching out endlessly, and bioluminescent creatures flickering in the periphery like faint stars in a celestial.
Are you researching dental implants?
There's a lot of dental offices that'll talk about doing their teeth
like faint stars in a celestial expanse. For hours, the team marveled at the data being transmitted. But then,
I like his narration. However, a lot of the sea creatures that he's showing, or they're showing in this video, are not that far down under the ocean, like not at all. So that's kind of strange that they would do that.
Without warning, the feed froze. It was as though the drone had entered some invisible pocket of nothingness, the screen going black for what seemed like an eternity. The mission control team held their breath, unsure whether they had lost the drone to the crushing depths or a technical malfunction. When the feed re-established, the team was greeted by a sight that left them paralyzed in disbelief. A form, ethereal and translucent, passed just meters from the camera lens. It was unlike any known marine species.
I don't like that they don't show what
No
it
propulsion
is.
system was visible, and the body's structure defied traditional biological understanding. There were no fins, no limbs, no obvious appendages of any kind. The creature's surface shimmered briefly as it passed through the light beam, almost as if responding to the drone's presence.
Remember, in the Bible it said
Then,
the glistening.
in a blink, it was gone, disappearing into the darkness, leaving no trace behind. The team was stunned. Was this a mirage? A glitch in the system? The actual footage showed something alive, undeniably so, yet it defied all known forms of life on Earth. The organism had moved with deliberate intention, as if it was aware of its surroundings, and yet, no identifiable source of propulsion had been detected. It was as though the creature had been floating in the water, propelled by some unknown force. Worse, the strange, translucent being emitted faint electrical signals, as though it was not merely a creature of flesh and bone, but one of unknown biological circuitry. The feed was only interrupted for 4 minutes, but the implications of those 4 minutes would echo for years. The expedition's leader, an expert in marine biology and electrophysiology, could only describe the moment as beyond comprehension. The actual footage, now in the hands of scientists and officials worldwide, raised questions that no one was prepared to answer. Was this a new form of marine life? Or was it something far more enigmatic? The biological anomaly. Following the return of the Pelagia X-7 drone, a team of marine biologists, led by Dr. Elise Ferreira, began the painstaking task of analyzing the residue found on the drone's hull.
Remember,
This
that's what the
analysis
Bible
was
even
expected
talks
to
about.
yield ordinary biological remnants, perhaps traces of plankton or other marine life forms. But what they uncovered was nothing short of extraordinary. The first clue came when the residue was subjected to a basic electric charge in the laboratory. Unlike anything observed in conventional marine organisms, the substance responded to the electrical stimuli. Tiny, delicate filaments began to form under the microscope, stretching out like miniature threads, only to vanish moments later. This wasn't just some random reaction. It seemed deliberate, as though the substance was alive and
A sentient being, biological sentient being with high intelligence, and reading the electronic charges that they were putting upon it. This is some crazy stuff. I'm going to continue to listen